नमस्कार. आनंद जी, आवाज येतो ना माझा?
I can hear you, Deepak.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for joining. Hi,
Okay,
Mangesh.
great.
Hi, Varad, how are you?
Namaskar, namaskar.
Good morning, good evening. Nice to meet you,
Nice to-
Sudhir, again.
Yeah. Santosh, how are you?
So,
muted,
Sudhir, I think we can get started.
Thank you.
We can get started, I think so.
I think
I
most
feel-
of us are here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I am Alankar. Welcome everyone to this first demo day of our startup accelerator at GMG. And over the last 16 weeks, we worked very, very closely with 8 teams, and you'll be seeing their pitches today. We are very excited to present them to you over the next 2 hours. For the first time, because we wanted to give a good platform for all our startup founders, we are actually streaming this entire event online on YouTube. Because we actually expected to run out of space on the Zoom webinar. So it's been really amazing to see this response from the whole community and the startup ecosystem. So we're going to start with a small introduction from Anand, where he'll tell us a little bit about the program, how we started, and then we move on to the next bit, which is the introduction of the panel members.
Shirish? Can I start?
Sure, Anand. Go ahead.
Oh, you are going to, can I start my, this thing? Okay. Thank you very much. Greetings of the day. There comes a day in a life of an individual or life of an organization. Rarely, but it comes. And when it comes, it makes you feel that all the efforts, innumerable hours of brainstorming, hard work that you and your team and your partners have put in is getting the deserving results. Today is that day for Garze Marathi Global. Respected invited guests, esteemed members of panel of judges, faculty and mentors of Garze Marathi Innovation Academy, participating startups, their promoters, and most importantly, the mentors of Garze Marathi who have selflessly guided these enterprises over past 16 weeks. It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to this demo day. I'm Anand Ganu, founder president of Garze Marathi Global. Garze Marathi Global is a professional platform for those who value knowledge, education, and entrepreneurship, and those who understand the importance of social and collective intelligence. Garze Marathi Global is a non-profit organization registered in the state of California, USA, and is also registered non-profit Section 8 company in Maharashtra. We are also registered non-profit in Kuwait, New Zealand, and South Africa. Garze Marathi has more than 25 chapters around the world and more than 6,000 members directly connected individuals. I would like to mention some of the initiatives that Garze Marathi Global is running at present. First and foremost is Garze Marathi's Innovation Academy and Acceleration Program for early stage startups. Then we have GMG Mentoring Program. Many have taken advantage of this initiative. With this week itself, in collaboration with Polytech Vidyalayas Association, we are starting a lecture series as Entrepreneurship as a Career Choice. Our other initiative are GMG Saksha, which is bridging the digital divide in interior of Maharashtra. We are bringing together subject experts under GMG Biopharma Tech Association, GMG Agri-Tech Association. Under GMG Teach to Teach initiative, we conduct workshops and courses in AI, supply chain management, IoT, Flutter, Scratch, Python, etc. As a part of this program, GMG's mentor, who is professor at Oxford, has conducted 2 workshops in AI. One of our mentors from Dubai has recently concluded 10 weeks workshop on fundamentals of supply chain management. Our mentors from Hong Kong, London, and San Francisco have come together and have structured 12 weeks workshop on supply chain management, giving perspective of 3 continents. To prepare youths for the best employment opportunities, Garze Marathi has started GMG Job Interview Help Initiative. These are not just lofty ideas. We have implemented most of these programs successfully, and we have learned and improved ourselves during the journey. How do we do all this? GMG has officially entered into MOU of collaboration with prestigious institutions such as Polytechnic Vidyalaya Association, Savitribai Phule Pune University, College of Engineering Pune, Symbiosis International University Pune, Marathwada Accelerator for Growth and Incubation Council Magic Aurangabad, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University Aurangabad, to name few. GMG has an amazing board of directors and advisors. 3 Padma Vibhushans, top-level professionals, academics, immensely successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, VPs, professors and deans of universities, bankers, VCs, angel investors are there to guide us all along. We have a very healthy relationship with the bureaucrats in India. We are fortunate to have support of high commissioners, consul generals, and high-ranking officials of Indian consulates in USA and many other countries around the world. GMG is a non-profit organization. We do not have any political inclination, but we have good rapport with the top personalities from Maharashtra and central government. Many of them have come and talked to GMG members on various occasions on this virtual platform. In short, what I wish to say is that GMG has a vision, willingness, support, and strength to achieve what we all have set out to achieve. Lastly, and most importantly, I express my sincere gratitude towards the GMG mentors, advisors, for the countless hours that they have invested in making this cohort and GMG's other initiative a great success. To these mentors, I say, thank you very much. I know you have done this selflessly and you expect nothing in return. But I want to assure you that we value your inputs and we will show you the results and impact that your teaching is going to make. To today's distinguished panel of judges, I say, we are here to learn from you. We need your continued support and guidance. I thank you very much for being here today with us, and you will be with us in future too. To our mentees, startup teams that are presenting their pitches today, I wish them best. But I say, GMG's board and the mentors expect nothing from you in return, but I need a pledge from you today. Soon you will grow and scale to the highest heights. That is the time when you will have to give forward, and then I know you will. Friends, we all are indebted to our community, to our society, to our Karma Bhumi, to our Janma Bhumi. It is our responsibility to return some of those debts. Together we can, and together we will. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you all have come together here. I hand over the control to Alankar Joshi. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Alankar?
Anand. Yes, thanks, Anand, for the very comprehensive, background about Garze Marathi and what we've been doing on the program. In the next section, what we're going to do is a quick round of intros. And frankly, I don't have the temerity to kind of suggest that that any of these, members of our judging panel today need introductions. So what I will suggest is, if we could have each panel member, not just actually more than the intro, maybe share something about them that is not publicly known or that is not on your LinkedIn profile, right? But which might be interesting for our founder community and our startup. There are many people watching this. So if anything that you can share, that will be very, very helpful. So what we will do is to keep this seamless. We have the entire sort of panel member, chart on the screen. So we'll start with Anil right at the top, and we'll go all the way, to the right first, and then first row, and then the second row. So Anil, why don't you start?
Thanks, Alankar. Good morning to all. I'm from Unicorn India Ventures. The one thing which is not there on my LinkedIn is that usually on Sundays I get up at 7:30. Right? Today I'm up and judging this. So this is the only unusual thing I'm doing. But this is what I love, and that's what I had been doing for past 20 years. And look forward to exciting session ahead. Thank you very much.
Okay, Ashish actually couldn't join us today. He had. We'll move on to, not sure if BV Jagdish is there. So Deepak, you're actually next. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Arvind. Alankar, well, I don't know what is there on my LinkedIn, so I never refer to it. But let me tell you quickly, this iFlex solution was my history. We started that company, the IT company, product company from India, when the startup was not a word around. But now, after spending 15, 20 years in IT, now in biotech, so I work on dental pulp stem cells, which is a unique company in Asia. In the United States, you find some companies of that kind. I also run, I'm a GP in one of the VCs, and we run around 750 crore funds, and the fourth fund is getting launched now. So get involved with all incubators, many of them in Mumbai and outside Mumbai. I'm on the board of governing board of IIT Kanpur and IIIT Jabalpur. I'm a chairperson, quite connected with the entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, startups, and encourage them to get in because I think every one of us must get rich to make this country and society rich and powerful in the world. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Deepak. Mangesh Mahajan, you next.
Hi. Namaskar, Mangesh Mahajan. I work as a venture capitalist. We have a $200 million fund. So we have built one in state of California. We invest anywhere in Canada, New York, and basically state of California. My experiences, I've done more than, I have started a startup company, sold it, then worked on a Wall Street for some time. Upon that, we started this VC. VC was quite a successful story. We are looking at more than 3 companies, about $200 million. One company is about $400 million right now. Essentially, I've done more than 3,500 due diligences on behalf of industries, mostly startups in the state of California, Arizona, New York, Nevada. हा माझा अनुभव आहे आणि विशेष करून आता we are starting a bigger private equity group of around $500 million. I'm kind of retiring from VC business and getting in a private equity business where we acquire more percentage in a corporation. And we will be launching that in a second quarter of 2022. That's my side of story. Otherwise, from IIT Bombay, London School of Economics, normal.
Thanks, Mangesh. Do we have Mangesh Vadekar as well? I think we do.
No, तो Miss Mangesh आहे.
Oh, okay. I thought that.
Mangesh Vadekar joined.
He hasn't joined. Okay. Ravi, can you go next?
Yeah. So good morning and good evening, everybody. This is Ravi Thakur here from Startup Exceed Ventures. We run a deep tech B2B focus tech fund out of Bangalore, and we've done fund 1 with 12 investments, and we've also got 3 exits. Based on that, we have started a second fund, and we've just started investing money. In terms of I myself have done the entrepreneurship, so we really love to be in touch with the founders and spend a lot of time with them. We ensure that we help them to kind of go to the next stage. What we always tell them is that money is one part of it, but beyond money, what is needed is what the support we give, and that is the support which is more than 3x of the money what we give, and that has really helped us. The fund 1 has done very well. We personally spend a lot of time with the founders, and that is where we call ourselves as a practitioners fund, and that is how we run a couple of programs with them, and look forward to continue the interaction with you all and meet up here basically.
Thanks, Ravi. Santosh, you're next.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks for. I mean, it's great to know. Actually, I'm based out in Pune, and in Spring Up Capital, we are trying to build a fund which is run by entrepreneurs. All our core team has been in different capacity, being entrepreneurs. So we wanted to bring that knowledge of scaling the companies in addition to the fund. We are a small fund. We are trying to build a second fund now. So we have done. Right now, we are in a due diligence phase of about 7 startups in specifically B2B and deep tech technologies. Our team is spread across, but I am based out in Pune, and we have a team member in Bangalore and other places. Only one thing I would like to say here is that the fund is, or rather, we wanted to focus on a global startups, while we still need to figure out the complications and the compliance part involved in all this. But we are attempting to build a global ecosystem in our own capacity. So in that sense, I think it would be nice to meet the entire team and listen the ideas. I'm happy to collaborate in the future, and all my friends in Pune and Mumbai, happy to meet them in person, or if anybody wants to, or anybody is planning to come to Pune, happy to host you in our office or personally as well. Otherwise. From IIT Bombay and University of Akron. I mean, IIT Bombay, the degree and business degree from University of Akron. That's about me. Happy to collaborate, happy to connect, and happy to learn from each one of you. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Santosh. I think we had Shashank as well. Shashank?
Hi, morning everyone, and good evening everyone. My name is Shashank. I'm the founder VC at 100x.vc. We're a fairly young fund. We started in 2019, a SEBI-registered fund. And the purpose of the fund is to become a discovery fund where we can invest in very early stage companies. We've done 60 odd investments till date as the first check. And we are envisioning and hoping that we can start deploying in 100 companies a year starting next year and reach our goal sooner than later. On a personal note, I love trekking. I've been staying in Bombay for many years. My parents stay in Delhi, and whenever I get a break, I'm always trekking on some peak or the other in Sayadri Hills, Western Ghats. I've also done Kalsubai, which was a liberating experience. That's on a personal side. And I'm very delighted and honored to be here. I'm looking forward to interacting with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shashank. I think we have Shom next.
Hi, guys. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Shompal Chaudhary. I'm a partner at a deep tech fund, Bharat Innovation Fund. We typically focus on deep core IP-based startup companies, cross-border companies, or companies based out of India, which are developing some core technologies and so forth. Invested in around between 2 funds, 1 seed fund and 1 larger fund that we run, around $100 million under management. We have invested in around 14 companies so far. Our origin and roots of this fund actually started from IIM Bangalore's incubator called CIIE.co, the Innovation Continuum. And just a few additional thoughts. We also co-founded a forum, a think tank for IoT in India. The whole goal being raising the IoT quotient of India across the sensor to the cloud, multiple companies, and around 2,300 startups, 25,000 community members. This is all part of the TIE Bangalore activities. Thank you.
Thanks, Shom. Last but not the least, Varadarajan Krishna.
Thank you so much. Very good evening, good morning to everyone, wherever you are. Just want to quickly say, other than what you find in my LinkedIn profile, I'm also part of a couple of companies, which are scaling to be unicorns. One is called Win AMR, which is a smart metering company which we built from ground up from 2005 until now, which is valued at around $470 million. And as I speak with you, another company which I listed already at Oslo Stock Exchange in 2016. And this is, we are trying to list it at NASDAQ as the next step. So these are the two things which you don't find in my LinkedIn profile because we're still building it. So very quickly about myself, I'm an executive turned serial tech entrepreneur. I've been through 5 exits, including 2 IPOs. And as I speak with you, I'm involved with as many as 25 startups as advisory board member or as an investor in various capacities. And my plan, as I want to talk to you all, is in addition to my introduction, is that we should not end, this demo day or this particular initiative with this particular pitch. We should continue beyond this because in this room, we have all the stalwarts that can make the difference. And I see it's kind of baton passing, right? Because like I said, been there, done it, is that, entrepreneur runs like a relay race and you have like a baton passing, right? So it is like, if it's not a 4 into 100 relay, it's a 4 into 400 meters relay. And every time you run and then hand the baton to someone else. So we, at the accelerator of the game, what we do is we prepare early stage startups to become investable. After that, it becomes a pipeline or a funnel for others to invest. And thereafter, I have another program called 100 Open Startups, which we founded in UC Berkeley as a way to give back to the ecosystem. We'll take over and then bring them exits. Okay. So that is how we have connected them all together. So this is what my thought, that we should all collaborate and engage deeper to bring more success for the Indian ecosystem. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for that. Before we move on to the pitches, a quick reminder for all our panel judges. In the morning or just an hour ago, you would have received an email with a link to a survey. That link is also there in the chat box, which you can see. You can just click on that link. This survey actually has just 2 questions, which you need to kind of respond to for after seeing the pitch and answering questions after the Q&A session of each startup. 2 very simple questions, take a few seconds to actually respond to. We want to give this feedback to all the founder teams later, anonymized, and then so that they have some good quality feedback from this panel, in addition to the grilling that they're going to go through in the Q&A session. So that's about it. Shirish, can you also flash the cover page again, the one that had the QR code for the other survey? So since we have quite a few people actually joining us, on YouTube, as well as in this Zoom webinar outside of the panel, what we've done is we also want their feedback on the pitch presentations and Q&A sessions that they're going to see in the next hour or so. So that QR code, which is at the bottom right of the screen, all you need is a smartphone camera, takes you to, opens up a survey page, and there is, just one, I think there's just one question that needs to be answered, in terms of what you're actually, the video pitch that you're actually viewing, and the Q&A session as well. So keep this in mind as we go through. At the end, we will actually consolidate all the feedback and let the teams know. So without further ado, let's get started. The main agenda for today. So the first team that is going to present today is actually a very interesting company. So Samudra, who is the founder CEO, will tell us how they've built a platform to really help accelerate high value sales, especially property, starting with property. All yours, Samudra.
Hi, I'm Samudra, founder of Cogni Elements. We are a platform accelerating remote sales of property for the housing market. More than 63% of urban users feel today's process of exploring and buying property is challenging and inconvenient. The reality of this was visible when we did our POC, world's first virtual expo for the Pune realty market, which was sponsored by ICICI Bank. Let's look at one of our success stories. Adhiraj Capital, the largest player of Navi Mumbai, was severely impacted with low sales. The sales cycle went as high as 90 days post COVID lockdowns. Even Google Meet or Zoom could not help them. With us, they started picking up virtual site visits, and under 60 days, they sold inventories worth $25 million. And their post on LinkedIn made us proud about the impact our platform could deliver. Home is the most expensive investment anyone does, be it Mr. Ambani or a blue collar worker. Let's look at a typical journey of a home buyer. They search for preferences on portals and start exploring their chosen projects. Websites and videos are not very transparent or even informative, in some cases to drive inquiries and visits, making it the only way to know anything about the project and only way to engage with the projects being executives, calls and brochures. When finalizing, they are left with multiple cost sheets, more brochures, more visits to make up their mind. All communication with complicated cost sheets, revisions make negotiation and hassle as well. But the major problem is the manual KYC and long agreement process involved. But how long exactly? By the time they closed on their home, it was more than 90 days to complete the agreement. Yep, over 90 days, and all hurdles are potential exit points for customer. At any point, the lead could just leave. Our vision is to empower property developers, brokers, and others involved in realty to sell properties faster and to a wider audience remotely using advanced technologies. Our platform improves the journey across all touch points with automation, virtual reality, guided tools, visit scheduling, analytics, eKYC, online agreements, and more. The offerings we divide into three aspects of our platform: insights and analytics, interactive visualization, and customer journey. The first focuses on optimizing the customer's journey with emphasis on exploration, engagement, and transaction. Second is interactive tech for visualization and engagement, including VR and AI powered audio video bots. Third is analytics and real time insights, offers behavior and business insights of leads to help close sales faster. And this is the secret sauce at work with Adhiraj and 57 plus other clients that will leverage our data platform. The universality of this problem is shown by our clientele like Embassy, Hiranandani, and many more. In the last 1 year, we have seen 20,000 plus hours of guided virtual tours. And we expect usage to grow as we have over $3 billion worth of inventories onboarded. We charge a one-time setup fee and a periodic renewal subscription for the real estate developer. Pay as you go is a success fee based model for the brokers who control 80% of the realty transactions. Considering just the Indian market, realty is a major contributor to the GDP. Tech expenses in realty sales and marketing is at about $17.5 billion. That's our TAM. Considering not all of that will be fulfilled by us, the SAM comes to $6.8 billion, out of which we are targeting a sum of $300 million. Being bootstrapped helped us find market fit across multiple MVPs through managed services. Today, our product revenue in the last fiscal is near to 43%. And to boost to our confidence, we have confirmed orders worth of $650,000 in hand. We have a stellar founding team of IIT alumni and industry professionals leading their focus areas. Akshay, my fellow founder, leads innovation and product and works with his senior, Sachin, who leads engineering to build the core technology. His hostel mates, Sukumar and Lokesh, leads client servicing and marketing innovations, while Chen works on keeping us future-proof and patented. And I, with over 14 plus years of experience, takes care of sales and strategy. With your strategic investment and guidance, we want to continue expanding Relata to newer markets for property and high-value products. Thank you for listening to us, and we are open to questions.
Brilliant. So for the Q&A session, what we'll do is, if the panel members, whoever has a question, can raise their hand. There's at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a raise hand symbol. And then we will have you ask questions in a row. So, okay, first question is from Anil. Go on, Anil.
Hi, nice, presentation. Can you tell more about competition?
Hi, Anil. Good morning from India. More on the competition, we have seen people who are doing a lot of VRs in the local market, but truly we have not identified many of them doing anything. We bridge the whole process. And recently, to our success, we have replaced Salesforce.com in a couple of companies where they were the front-ending partner. So as of now, if you see whole end-to-end process, we have 3-4 competitors who work in the space of VR or video conferencing or customer journey optimization.
Thank you.
Yes, Deepak.
Yeah, hi. A nice presentation, and this is a platform-based stuff. My question to you is, I think the way in which you're looking at it, that's the feeling I got, is more from builders and sellers' point of view and not from buyers' point of view. Because when I go to buy the property, the first thing I need to understand is credibility of the builder and his quality and his history and so on. Now, are we providing anything of that kind to ensure, like verifying the credibility of the builders that you're putting or stocks that you're putting on the sales block, whether you guys are doing some kind of certification and not guarantee, I would say, but at least some credibility that you bring in, certify the builder.
Thanks, Deepak, for the question. No, we are not into certification right now. Our model is it's purely B2B, where they use our platform to boost their sales. So every individual developer has their own link in their website, and they use it from there. So we are not yet into the B2C forum or neither into verifying those properties as of now.
Thank you.
But just to add there, right, all of the work that we do includes the RERA details of the builders directly, so that it is easier for end consumer to actually go and verify if they want to. So the RERA details have everything from the builder's history, etc.
Got it.
Yes, Santosh.
Yeah, okay. Samudra, I really like the pitch, and I think you have very precise and, so to speak, the very energetic pitch. I quite like this here. Happy to connect with you. And then one thing is another point. What I like is the uniqueness, because I think we certainly have the need for this kind of a technology in this space, because right now all the home buyers are roaming around to get the better or a suitable property. But my question here is how we are ensuring what is being there on ground and versus what we are showing to the customers, because most of the times I think there is, it's like show flat versus the real flat, right? So how we are ensuring, because that is a big question mark on the credibility, number one. And number two, I wanted to know more about how your GTM strategy has been so far.
Okay, thanks, Santosh. Thanks for the appreciation. Answering both the questions, there is a placeholder where people can upgrade their construction progress. In addition to this, we are coming up with a product called immersive reporting, which will allow any construction-funded agencies to look after their progress based on the commitment. That's one part of the thing. Second thing, the current GTM is all about having strong channel partners. So we are partnering with a lot of marketing agencies as well as people who are already there in the real estate. The best part is our solution is unique and people haven't seen that. So when we share the margins with our channel partners, they take us to the bigger guys. And that has been the success stories across 57 clients till now.
And just to add to that, right, in terms of transparency, what we provide in terms of virtual solutions, right, be it just 360 photos versus 2D, they are a lot more transparent in terms of giving users an idea of the space and how it is going to be like, versus 2D photos or other similar techniques that are in use in real estate right now.
Okay, we have just time for maybe 2 quick questions. So Shom, why don't you go first?
Yeah, hey, so great presentation, guys, thanks. So a couple of, just a, why is the name, the Cogni Elements, right? What is the history of this name? And quick follow-on question in terms of, so from a business model standpoint, is it just you're getting money from these builders on a SaaS basis, or is there some kind of a success-based criteria based on the number of customers that finally buy from your platform? Is there that element also you're bringing in, or is it just a 1 month, a monthly or an annual subscription by the builders?
Okay. Thanks, Tom. The name of the company, Cogni Elements, comes from the elements of cognizance. So it's basically, we had nothing to sell apart from the intellectual property. So every individual is an element in the organization, and they have been contributing to build this organization. And that's how Cogni Elements. Answering your second question is, we have 3 models, which is a one-time fee, setup fee. Then there is an annual subscription or a half-yearly subscription for developers. Recently, we have started going across the broker model, which takes care of 80% of the realty sales, where we are focusing more on transaction-based fees. So every booking or home sales, there is a percentage which we have decided with them. And our first POC has just started in Pune a couple of weeks back to administer how things can be taken forward. So we are inclined towards transaction-based revenue for the future business.
Great, thank you. Question from Mangesh. Yeah.
Mangesh, hey, very nice presentation, Samudra. Very nice. A question.
Thank you.
What is the valuation you're looking at, and how much money you're raising? Very simple question.
Currently we had been bootstrapped for a period of time. Our valuation is ranging somewhere around $38 million. We might look to raise somewhere between $3 to $5 million. However, that would be one question where if we can get a one-on-one meeting with you, so we can discuss it more elaborately and take it forward.
That is fair enough. We can catch up later. No problems.
Thanks.
Okay. I think we're already out of time, so we'll move on to our next startup. But before I introduce the next startup, quick suggestion to all the founders. We're trying to manage time here. So keep your answers crisp, brief, and pointed to the questions that you asked, right? So our second startup really is, Jaideep is going to tell us, it's a fintech company, and Jaideep will tell us how he's actually taking fintech to rural India. All yours, Jaideep.
Everyone, 90% of rural India still deals in cash. And we at GramEPay, neobankers of rural India, are on mission to change the same. Our team has experience of over 50 years in managing global platform business. With over 100,000 rural points which we set up, we had enrolled over 270 million consumers for various banking and financial inclusion programs, and we also managed platform business for some of the large public sector as well as private sector banks in the country. The problem which we are chasing to solve is of a digital payments acceptance ecosystem being concentrated in top 100 cities in India. Add to the fact that there are over 100,000 rural banks, specifically cooperative banks, credit societies, regional rural banks, which lack technology infrastructure, manpower, and most importantly, the understanding of the payments business, which is a reason why cash is still largely being used in rural India. And COVID has had its impact on rural youths who are now looking for employment opportunities in and around the villages where they belong to. Regulator on its side has recently come out with a guideline called Payments Infrastructure Development Fund, aimed at creating acceptance ecosystem in Tier 3 and beyond, which gives us an opportunity of $200 million SOM, and this entire market is expected to go up to $100 billion by 2025, as published by Boston Consultancy Group and Red Sea Consulting. Having looked at the opportunity, which is available for GramEPay, we launched our platform on 26th of Jan, which on one side aggregates all the fintech companies and payment processors, and this aggregated platform is then offered to rural banks on a subscription basis, along with a feet on street in form of a social entrepreneur, which is again recruited and managed by GramPay team. And our vision is to deploy over 600,000 social entrepreneurs in the country, which means every village in India will have GramPay social entrepreneur. Our revenue model is pretty standard. We charge a small subscription fee for banks to come on the platform. Thereafter, we also get a pie of a recurring transaction fee, which is processed through the platform, and commissions from the products which are sold through the platform. We are looking to raise $500,000 as our seed round. We are still a bootstrap company, and this fund is primarily going to be utilized for national rollout and scaling up of the operations. We have just completed a due diligence with one of the institutional funds. We are very confident of hitting $26 million revenue in 3 years time frame. And as we speak, we are operational in 5 states and cash flow positive. Looking at our model, we were recently invited by Finance Minister of India to showcase our business model on how a startup can be still a sustainable startup by focusing on rural ecosystem, which has further given us traction in terms of various industry houses, government bodies, farmer producer companies, and fintech companies reaching out to us for collaboration in order to leverage the distribution ecosystem created by GramPay. We are currently operational in states of Maharashtra, which is our headquarters, followed by Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and Delhi. We recently launched an insurance platform called Gram eBima, which is a further brand extension, which our social entrepreneur network is again leveraging. And in days to come, specifically in 24 months, we want to further extend the band to various other allied services which will be required for rural transformation. Thank you so much. That's about GramPay, and we'll be happy to answer all your queries.
Okay, so we already have a few questions, and Jaideep has joined us. Deepak, do you want to go first?
Sure. Nice presentation, and we have been looking at these kind of requirements. My question to you is, when you look at Maharashtra, for example, on the rural and urban cooperative banks, that's probably the main market. But selling it to them is a different task than a typical professional task, and that's the reality of life. And probably same thing happens in India around the rural banking sector. How you're going to tackle that kind of a situation to make it more and more used by the banks?
Great question, Deepak. What we have done is that we have looked at a partner ecosystem, and we have gone through the system aggregators or system integrators who are already working with these banks. So currently we have agreements with a company called ESDS, which is hosting 450 cooperative banks in their data center. And then there is another system integrator called Finacus, which has over 200 banks which are hosted with them. So in all, we get access to these 600 banks in one integration which we do with them. And we have already trained close to about 120 plus banks on the platform. So our approach is B2B model. We are not directly reaching out to banks. We are going through the system integrators.
You're based out of Pune, are you?
We are based out of Navi Mumbai. Kharghar.
Okay. Have you heard of Sarvatra?
Yes.
So are you competing with them? Are you cooperating?
We are collaborating. We will be collaborating with them.
Okay, because that is one of my investing company, and so I thought we can work together. So
Sure.
let's be in touch and see what we can do together. Right?
Sure, Deepak. Thank you so much.
Yes, Mangesh. Mangesh, you're on mute. Did you have a question?
No, sir, I didn't have a question.
Or maybe it's from the earlier session. Any other questions from the group? Maybe some of the panel members who haven't asked anything yet.
Yeah, so I have a question. If I could go ahead. Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so you just mentioned now that the due diligence with institutional fund is done. Does he have a term sheet?
Yes.
If not,
We do have a term sheet in place, but we have not yet finalized the deal. We will be happy to discuss with you in person, Krishna.
Okay, all right. You can call me Bharat. All right, so we can take this later, like you said, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. So I guess there are, there is one. Yes,
Yeah, Jaideep, very good idea in the sense that most of our economy is in the Bharat, I mean, as they say. And I think you are bringing in this digital platform or a digital payment platform. Happy to connect with you offline, Jaideep. Again, as I said, I am in Pune, but happy to connect with you and explore this further.
Thank you, Santosh.
Great. Thanks for those questions. Let's move on. Our next startup is, Aparna tells us she's a successful IT services entrepreneur, and they're actually working on their next product, which is in the learning management space. So let's hear from her.
Hello, everyone. Did you know that well-directed learning programs can increase revenue per employee by 280% and give 18% higher margins to businesses? That's the result of a recent survey of 2,500 companies. I am Aparna Desai, co-founder and CEO of Ventura Learning Technologies. We are passionate about boosting workforce productivity with AI-powered learning. We are a team with 50 plus years of collective experience in the e-learning industry and have been helping clients across the globe, including Fortune 500 companies, with their digital learning needs. While working with our customers, we realize that they invest a lot of time, money, and effort in upskilling and reskilling their employees, but they still struggle with employee participation and engagement and to get the real business impact on performance shift. When we dive deep, we realize that there are three main reasons for this. First, the learners give low priority to learning. Second, they get distracted very easily. And third, the learner demographics suggest that the learning preferences are different. So the question is, what do learners need today? Today's learner need learning that is at their pace and comfort. They want learning that's more engaging and interactive with them and that's in line with their goals and interests. We believe that we have the experience and expertise to solve this problem and make learning more engaging for the learners. And that is why we incubated this product idea of Ventura LMS in our existing business. So how are we different? Here's something interesting. She is Ira, our learning bot. Ira keeps the learners engaged and motivated in completing their learning engagements on time by sending personalized notifications and reminders. Using Ventura LMS, organizations can roll out training 5 times faster, converting their existing content into microlearning in just a few clicks. Not just that, they can use our available gamification templates to improve engagement, especially for the millennial workforce. They can also use the 50 plus ready-to-use courses available in our learning library called Skillovity to fast-track their digital learning journeys. Furthermore, organizations can centralize all their training and make it easily searchable using the intelligently generated keywords. Using our AI engine, we analyze the profiles of the learners, understand their interest and skill areas, and personalize their learning paths. So every learning path on the LMS is unique to the learner. Key benefit of using our LMS is the detailed analytics which we track on 8 different parameters on how the learning content is performing and what can be improved. Our focus is small to mid-sized companies that gives us a serviceable market of 120 million. Our first 10 customers will come from the existing pool of clients we are already serving on the services side. We plan to focus on India market first, take the learnings and then expand in Asia Pacific and Middle East markets. Our revenue model is SaaS based and we expect an additional 20% revenue from add-on services like digital content creation and premium support. Down the line, we also plan to commercialize the learning analytics data that we will gather over the period of time. Unlike our competition, we are not just the enablers for organizations to kickstart their digital learning journeys, but we are the transformers because we focus on creating impactful digital learning experiences. We are pitching for seed funding at this stage. A quick recap, we are Ventura Learning Technologies, an edtech startup passionate about boosting workforce productivity using the power of AI. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to present ourselves today. I'm happy to take questions. Thank you.
Fantastic. So who was the first question? Is it, I see Deepak's hand, but not sure if it's from the earlier session. Deepak?
No, I think it's from earlier session.
Okay.
I'll put it up.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Shashank.
Hi team, that's a great presentation. Thank you. Can you help me understand the nature of the offering again? Because is this managing tacit knowledge for employees, or is it which is internal to the organization, or to create engagement for the employees?
So, Shashank, it's both actually. It's the first step is to manage the training for the internal employees using the content that's available, and then create more content for the employees so that they get better at their job.
Understood. So the reason why I ask is we have a company which is doing tacit knowledge management for organizations, Beehive. I like to connect with you offline and understand more. Thank
Sure.
you. Thank you.
Thanks, Shashank.
Any other questions? Yes, Santosh.
Yeah, one question I think I'm not very clear about, Aparna. Please help me understand. But by the way, the idea is good. The presentation is good. I quite like the simplicity what you have put together. Wanted to confirm my understanding. In this case, our target market is the enterprises which are willing to cross skill or rather upskill their employees. Is that understanding right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So do we have a traction, initial traction, so to speak, as we speak?
So we have done some pilots with our existing customers, but on the product side, it's still at development stage. It's
Okay.
not full-fledged product as yet.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Alankar, now I raise my hand. So actually,
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
I just
Aparna, thank you for your, as I said, a very simple way of presenting, and thank you so much. But let me tell you also that this is a very crowded place. I mean, everybody is trying to get into the training programs and creating platforms.
Yeah.
So I think the chart that you showed where you used your text, correction text as uniqueness or USPs of yours. I think I don't know how you use, for example, AI into this. My suggestion is that each vertical of industry has their own sort of intellectual property. And probably, I don't know whether with AI help, you can help these companies to create the contents which are industry related, which might create the uniqueness of your offering versus the general platform, or as I call them, the KOKAs of the training programs come out with, because there are plenty in the market. I think you need to create that uniqueness in your platform so that people would actually start using it.
Sure, Deepak. Thanks for the inputs. Yes, what we are trying to do is we are trying to help organizations leverage the existing content and with the help of AI create courses that are trackable for their employees. And the one more thing that we are trying to do is we are trying to focus on not just the result on how much completion has happened or how much the employees have spent time on the course, but how they have felt during the training, which can give more impact. So well taken. I will definitely work on the industry specific points.
Thank you.
Okay, so I see no more raised hands. So let's move on to our next founder. So Rutuj is trying to solve a very interesting problem. Electric vehicles are a big industry, but the conundrum has been that many companies, hundreds of them, launching products but going bust. And he explains why, and he explains how he has a solution for them.
Hello, this is Dr. Rutuj Deshpande, a co-founder of Go Vidyut Mobility. Go Vidyut is a deep tech startup developing e-mobility technologies for the emerging markets. Let's look at Indian EV market. With the urban area battling with the pollution issues, the large mobility sector needs electrification. Nevertheless, Poor electric infrastructure is a major hurdle in this process. EV manufacturers are having difficulty in solving the EV market puzzle. The fact is, the EV share is less than 1% of the total mobility sector in spite of all the government incentives and significant reduction in battery prices. Manufacturers say it's like playing tic-tac-toe. The challenge is how to tick all the 4 boxes in one product. If they design a vehicle with long range and high performance, it's difficult to meet the cost targets. Conversely, the cost targets can be met by reducing range or performance, but such vehicles are not acceptable to the users. EV companies are looking for a perfect solution that meets all these parameters in one product. In fact, more than 600 EV companies are registered in India in recent times. Unfortunately, many of them have already vanished. We want to enable these 600 or more EV manufacturers to meet their targets with our magic sauce, the patent pending technology of low cost extended range electric powertrain. With the Go Vidyut powertrain enabled vehicle, a user can charge the vehicle at home, drive a distance more than the average commute distance on the charged battery. For any longer drive, the onboard range extender charges the battery to propel the vehicle further. Total range the user gets is more than 200 kilometers and there is no range anxiety. We built our alpha prototype of two-wheeler powertrain in Jan 2021 on a Gusto scooter donated by Mahindra and Mahindra. We are currently working on the beta prototype. By 2023, we plan to develop fuel cell based range extender powertrain for one of our customers. The modularity of technology allows us to design for 2, 3 or 4-wheeler cargo vehicles. Team Go Vidyut consists of 4 automotive experts with a combined experience of more than 40 years from companies such as Ford, GM, Volkswagen, Maruti, you name it. We have 13 patents, 13 papers under our belt. In terms of competition, our direct competitors are powertrain tech companies such as Bosch, Electra EV. Their solutions are full battery powertrains and therefore have all the issues that we stated earlier. Our indirect competitors are companies involved in battery swapping technology, battery as a service technology, and in charging station infra development. These alternate technologies have major challenges in grid stability, capital investment, battery safety, or ownership. Our business model is to license out the technology to the powertrain suppliers. There would be one-time adoption fee to the OEMs and royalty based on the powertrain cells. We have signed MOUs with automotive suppliers, Praditi and Pinnacle Industries, who are suppliers to OEMs such as Bajaj, Piaggio, etc. The powertrain licensing market in the emerging world is $2.7 billion market. The market within Indian subcontinent is 1.1 billion. Based on bottom calculation, our SOM is estimated to be $100 million. The projected cumulative revenue is $17 million over next 4 years for Go Vidyut. We seek funding of $1 million for next 2 years for various development. To conclude, we are enabling manufacturers to electrify the last mile mobility. It is time to go Vidyut, go green. Thank you.
Do we have a question from Shashank?
Yes.
Okay,
I
Shashank, you
do.
go first. Thanks.
Thank you, and great presentation. That's a super cool idea. I just had a few observations. So uh, this patented technology helps you fill in the last mile charging for which type of vehicle?
Right, so patent is for 2 and 3 wheelers right now. We are also applying new patent for 4-wheeler cargo vehicles.
Okay, so you're saying that when an Ather is giving out 2-wheeler bikes, the buyer has a fundamental issue charging the vehicles at his, let's say, home. How is that problem being addressed by the current manufacturers?
No, so I mean there is fundamental issue not only charging at home but also outside, right? So most of the electric scooters, if you look at scooters market, they are providing a range of 70 to 80 kilometers, And it's not sufficient because there is no charging infrastructure, and the electricity supply at home is also not reliable. So if you look at quality of supply in tier 2, tier 3 or tier 4 cities, there is no reliability on that. So charging becomes a big hurdle in market penetration of these vehicles. And that's what we are trying to solve with our technology.
Got it. And when you said you're currently doing certain POCs, so when do you start estimating quarterly revenue, recurring revenue?
Correct. So we will be applying for certification by March 2020, March 2022, basically. And thereafter, we will, around October timeframe is when we are expecting to start producing in the three-wheeler sector, the powertrain for the three-wheeler. So now we are not the producers, but we are partnering with companies who are supplying to the automotive supplier.
Correct. So you don't, so third-party manufacturing at your end.
Right. So different channels. So sometimes it's third-party manufacturing, or it's just licensing out the technology to the manufacturers, and they will find their own.
Sure. Great idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question from Anil. We have quite a few questions, so yeah, Anil, go on.
Hey, hi, I missed a bit. Just correct. Are you in retrofit space, or you are, doing your own 2 and 3-wheeler, ventures?
Right. So basically, we are in the powertrain powertrain design space. So we are developing the technology and giving it out to the powertrain suppliers. Now, some of our potential.
Basically, is it for helping, charging, right? Charging of the battery for 2 or 3-wheeler, right?
So basically, yeah, it's giving the removing the range anxiety and removing the dependence on the charging infrastructure. So the idea is, how can we enable the manufacturers to sell EVs today when there is no charging infrastructure in majority of India?
And how you do that?
With this particular powertrain, which basically there is an onboard range extender system. So once the battery is depleted, the onboard range extender will kick in and start charging the battery while you're driving. So to total range you get is much longer than the average commute distance.
But at the end of the day, it is still need to be charged, right?
Correct. I mean, you will come back home and charge at home. Hopefully, right, everyday commute would be on charged battery. It's just when you want to go longer distance, you don't need to carry a much bigger battery, which is much more expensive. But a smaller battery just sufficient.
And how much it will charge? And how much it will charge to user?
So basically, this is a powertrain. It will depend on whether we are looking at 2-wheeler or 3-wheeler or 4-wheeler. So for 3-wheeler, our target price is around 80,000 rupees for the powertrain.
Additional.
So this is so for a retrofitting kit, it's like additional. So you will use the.
So how much is for 2-wheeler?
2-wheeler, we are looking at around 25,000.
So if I buy a vehicle for 1.5 lakh, I had to pay additional 25,000 to make it, more, right?
No. It's not like so. So you have to buy a vehicle with this particular powertrain itself. So we are selling it to OEMs directly, and they will make vehicles with this powertrain. The vehicle cost would be around 80,000 rupees.
Last question. So whether is selling the normal one for 1 lakh, if I choose your one, it will be 1.25, right?
No, it's 80,000 rupees.
Sorry?
It will be 80,000 rupees.
No, retrofitting will not cost more.
No. So you don't need to. We don't retrofit it on Ather. They will basically make a new Ather product which is based on our powertrain, which will be cheaper than the.
No. Let me make a question simpler. If I'm buying a normal vehicle from Ather, it will cost me 1 lakh, for example.
Correct.
If I'm choosing your solution from Ather, it will be their cost plus 25,000 extra, right?
Right. No, I mean, it's.
I don't know. You're not able to understand my question. I'll give up. Thank you.
Okay, next question from Deepak.
Yeah, hi. Good concept. I think only thing I wanted to understand, because I worked with, I don't know if you heard of these guys called E-Bike Go. And so that's one of the people that I work with as a mentor. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I think I have heard of it.
Yeah, and then Log9 is another company from Bangalore where we work with this IIT Roorkee guys on the power pack and probably the hydrogen cells and power cells and so on. And my strong belief is that this charging ecosystem will change substantially as we go along. And probably every Panwala in Mumbai will have one charger for two-wheeler and three-wheeler, like a kiosk, and that will be that technology will come up. So my question to you is, if that is a disruption that is going to come and ecosystem going to get developed, whether your product, I don't know how much weight it will be extra because of that, whatever, I don't know which technology you use, is the alternative technology or the dynamo kind of a thing that you add it to, but there definitely is added weight to it. So whether that technology will really stand to the disruption of the ecosystem that will come up in future, because I think what we're trying to do is take the advantage, or rather trying to solve the problem of the lack of ecosystem currently in the market. So that is going to change, and then your model will succeed or not. That's my question.
Correct. So there is two parts to it. If you look at US market, which is already developed in terms of charging station infrastructure, almost 20% of the EVs sold are with the technology that I'm talking about. This is for the four-wheeler space, but we are bringing it to the two and three-wheeler in India. It will take probably 15 to 20 years to develop this charging station infrastructure. That's our estimate based on the current grid, which is not capable of taking a lot of new charging stations. So, and even if charging stations come into picture, there is I think there is a scope for every shade of vehicle. So even these particular types of vehicle would still continue to be in market.
How much added weight you get because of that?
So basically, you are reducing the weight of the battery significantly, and you are adding a alternator or engine generator to it. So the total weight is actually lower than a pure EV, which is trying to give same range.
Sorry, you're talking about the second battery, right?
So there would be a small battery for initial first 40 kilometers, 45 kilometers, whatever is the range for everyday commute. And there would be a range extender in addition to that 40-kilometer battery.
Okay, so rather than using a normal battery that otherwise two-wheeler will use, you will replace that with a smaller battery plus your stuff, that alternator, and then that together will extend the stuff. And maybe that's the reason why you are saying that instead of 1 lakh, it will cost 80,000, because the battery size is going to change completely. And therefore the major cost will go down. I think you should explain it that way, because people will get confused otherwise what you're trying to say.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Good.
Mahesh has raised the hand.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, Mangesh.
Yeah. Hey, very nice presentation, Rituj. I got one question. What is the capacity of your polymer capacity?
So this is a lithium-ion battery. We are looking at 1.6 kilowatt-hour battery pack for two-wheeler. For three-wheeler, it's 4.5 kilowatt-hour battery pack. So it will depend on whether we are looking at two-wheeler, three-wheeler, or four-wheeler. And then good thing about this technology is we can change the battery size depending upon the financial constraints of the user. If user wants to give
this is brilliant stuff. This is good stuff. Very nice. And what is the energy density per gram?
So this is an NMC chemistry for the two-wheeler, and it will be LFP chemistry for the three-wheelers.
Okay, that's very nice. And you got a patent, which are Indian patent or international patents?
Currently, it's Indian patent, right?
That's okay. Fair enough. So you should quickly file an international patent on this, and should go for a global patent very quickly on this. That is emergency. Okay. This is beautiful. There is a huge potential. This is big deal.
Thanks.
Okay, very good. Very good. Excellent.
Thank you for kind words.
Fantastic. Som, I know that you raised your hand, but apologies, there were many questions. Do you still want to ask a question before we move on?
Sure, let's go ahead. Let's move on.
Thanks. Okay, so moving on. It is famously said in India that elections are won and lost on the basis of how expensive onions are. As strange as it might sound, that's actually true, right? So our next startup actually, startup founder Vinay is going to tell us how he plans to make that whole supply chain a lot more efficient using his platform.
Did you know onion wholesalers in India lose between 5 to 10 lakhs every season trying to find trusted buyers? And onion buyers, on the other hand, face challenges in procuring quality goods at competitive prices. I am Vinay, and we are trying to create India's most trusted B2B onion marketplace at Nash Agri. B2B onion trade is a $13 billion plus market in India and faces two major challenges of payment guarantee and quality assurance. Our platform is catering to these exact needs by acting as a clearinghouse. The payments are collected through an escrow system, and the on-ground fleet ensures higher standards of quality. We are also adding additional service layers, including early financing, truck booking, and bookkeeping solutions in coming quarters to build an ecosystem for our stakeholders. This will allow us to retain the customers and increase our targeted market size. Over the last 2 months, we have taken a phased approach to market the brand and acquire customers. In the first phase, we are building relationship with users offline and creating online communities over Facebook and WhatsApp. In phase 2, we will focus on engaging the communities, and starting from February during phase 3, we will start converting the users into paying customers. Our revenue will come from flat transaction-based fees charged to the buyers and membership subscription fees charged for listing, exclusive market insights, and content. Our two-sided marketplace offers higher liquidity in terms of sellers to the buyers, which results in lower procurement costs. Through our platform, we have been able to save 15 to 25,000 per order for our buyers in the initial trials. Once we stabilize the operations, we will also pursue a third stream, which will be based on a profit sharing by the buyers. Till date, we have achieved a GMV of $50,000 and are currently engaged with Reliance for a pilot project. The success and validation from our pilot project Reliance will allow us to increase monthly order size from 60 to 600 in next 12 months. The average ticket size will be $7,000. We are competing with large agri marketplaces such as Bijak, AgriBazaar, and Agri10x for market share. What differentiates us from these horizontal marketplaces is the depth and focus we have on onion as a commodity. This exclusive focus and expertise has allowed us, our early users, to develop trust in us, something our competitors have struggled with. In future, we plan to expand into other complementary commodities such as potato, garlic, ginger, etc. We don't have plans to enter staples, pulses, or fresh vegetables segment. We are a team that has always been close to agriculture and the problem that we are trying to solve. Majority of the founding team is from Maharashtra, which accounts for more than 1/3 of India's onion production. And that is the reason we have chosen onion as our first commodity. Prior to my MBA, I have spent more than 2 years with a farmer producer organization to understand their difficulty in creating market linkages. Sachin, on the other hand, has worked in the onion industry for more than 7 years. He's a founder of an FPO and a registered vendor of more modern trade companies such as Reliance, Big Basket, and Udaan. Our collective experience and industry knowledge has helped us understand the problem of onion wholesalers much better. We are mentored by experienced investors, founders, and consultants from reputed organizations. We are currently raising a pre-seed round, which has been subscribed by employees of prestigious organizations such as Bain & Company, Deloitte, EY, etc. We would love to discuss investment opportunities with you. You can reach out to us at founders@nashagri.com. We are Nash Agri, creating India's most trusted B2B onion marketplace. Thank you.
Any questions from our panel? Vinay has joined us. Mangesh, do you have a question, or is it from the earlier? It might be from the earlier round, I think.
Yes, it was from the earlier round.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, so I guess there are no questions right now, but panel members can reach out to us in case any questions are asked offline. Happy to put you in touch with Vinay.
Alankar, I have a quick suggestion. It's not a question.
Yeah.
To this particular presenter is that I've seen quite a few such startups in India solving this kind of problems. And what's the differentiation? This particular organization or startup brings is something that we need to understand more. And I would like also to suggest to this entrepreneur that he need to look at making a wholesome approach, not only for one product, maybe like a dashboard where many such produce, like could be onion, could be other potatoes, like, other crops that you should be able to bring in. That's going to be a differentiator. I've seen quite a few people trying to solve this onion problem, but I want also to look at someone who's able to give that option where you can pick and choose a crop. So this is my suggestion to the founder.
Thank you, noted. Thanks a lot.
Okay, great. Let's move on. Next in our lineup, we have a startup that, Shrikant is the founder CEO, and he tells us how he's actually trying to solve a key problem in financing for SMEs, which is basically digital trust. So this company is actually the only Singapore-based startup in our cohort. And he tells us how he's solving this problem.
Hello, everyone. This is Shrikant. I'm CEO and founder of DGLI. Monica is an ambitious SME and she has a flourishing business. She's looking forward to building it to the next level. Unfortunately, when she approaches the bank, she's drowned into ocean of documentation and she must go through the cumbersome KYC every bank and each year, taking her attention away from the main objective of building business. On the other hand, Cheng, the banker, is completely focused on conforming to banking norms to minimize the risk and fraud. It is a well-known fact that across the world, SMEs contribute significantly to our society and they are essential part of business fabric. But what we do not know is that there are approximately 750 million SMEs across the world and 250 million women SMEs. What makes the story of Monica and Cheng important is the paradox that SMEs contribute to more than 50% of GDP, but only 1 out of 6 SMEs get access to finance. DGLI helps banks to differentiate gems from millions of SMEs and in turn helps rejected SMEs to build their reputation via own credibility score, which comprises of 15 dimensions, which are devised by DGLI. We offer 3-filter approach. The first step is to complete KYC process supported by digital identity. Second step is to complete all the compliance checks required by the bank. And the third is to enable SMEs to create enhanced credibility. We are amongst the very few companies in the world those offer digital identity for SMEs supported by a wallet that allows them to capture relevant data and attach their reputation to their own digital identity. All 3 filters are activated by a simple push of a button that can be used by new SMEs as well as assessing the risk of existing customers. We have created innovative user journeys involving one-step onboarding, completely digitized verification of SMEs. In Singapore, we have totally reimagined an end-to-end digital lending process with a company that holds $1 billion in SME loans. The impact we create is not incremental, but it's transformative and long-lasting. We significantly enhance the customer experience by underlying digitization of SMEs. We intend to touch lives of 1.1 million SMEs over the next 3 years to generate a revenue of $6 million USD. Our pay-per-use model is flexible to offer subscription or commission-based revenue. We look forward to go live in Singapore over the next few months with a digital lender. We look forward to the expansion as per our plan to raise seed round to fuel our next phases of hiring and deepening technology investment, as well as building bigger business across ASEAN. I worked with BCG, Accenture, IBM, and Oliver Wyman across 15 countries. And this is my third venture. I have phenomenal support from Abhijit, Bipin, Shanaz, and Krishan, who are the leaders across geographies and across topics. Our vision is to create the most impactful company that unlocks access to finance for SMEs. Thank you for your time.
Questions? Yes, Deepak.
Yeah, I think it's a good presentation. Thanks. My question to you is, are you concentrating on particular geographies, especially since you come from Singapore? Because each country, I would guess, and especially emerging market countries, have their own peculiarities in SME sector. And in India, we are still struggling to sort of set that ecosystem for SMEs. While importance of SME is understood, the financing of SME becomes still problem or remains still a problem, both from banking and NBFC sector. So I don't know how we are going to sort of address those kind of peculiarities in Indian SME financing market. If you can just elaborate on that.
Yeah, sure. So first is, I just want to highlight that we are driven by the open data revolution, which is happening and which is also hitting the SME segment. We would be really surprised at the amount of data government of Singapore as well as India. In China, we were really shocked to see there are multiple data sources available for SMEs. So this data revolution is helping us. For India, we have mapped it and it's completely digital. We are in a position to offer end-to-end SME onboarding via digital within India also. And we have mapped the entire ecosystem. So there is GSTN, there is this whole Ministry of Corporate Affairs, all of that, and Aadhaar. All of that integration is possible in India. So I would say that we all will be surprised how much of digitization is happening across the world and how much of open data is available in the SME domain.
Thanks, Shrikant. Any other questions from the panel? Ravi?
Yeah, just wanted to check, Shrikant, do you have an India entity or it is still a Singapore entity?
No, we have India entity and we also have a Singapore entity.
Okay.
So our origins are within India. And then because I moved to Singapore, I established this company in Singapore. Again, there are certain benefits of being a Singaporean entity because you get few grants, you get good traction and good visibility. But yes, our origins are basically DGLI. There is an entity in India also.
So India is a subsidiary of Singapore.
No, so we haven't done that setup. It is more about how we will look at it in future, but we can define the relationship as we are convenient, as convenient. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes, Santosh.
Yeah, Shrikant, thanks for the presentation. Two questions. One is wanted to see, or rather wanted to reconfirm my understanding. The target customer here are the banks or the SMEs or both. I mean, where the money is coming from. That's what my question. Question number one. Question number two is maybe I think let's discuss the question number one and then I'll come back to number two.
Yeah, so banks or the financial institutions and largely some of the lenders who are the digital lenders, as I mentioned, we are already started working with them. So those are our primary customers.
The idea is that over a period of time, once the SME starts establishing their identity, then we can make it B2C. But right now it is completely B2B, and that is going to be our focus for the next couple of years. We do see good revenue coming from there because once you reach out to a bank like OCBC in Singapore, they have 150,000 SME customers. So we apply for not only the new customers who are coming in, but we also have ability to give them the risk analysis of the existing SMEs. So that it's more like the beehive rather than hunting for one SME by significantly reducing cost of customer acquisition.
Yeah, we have a similar traction in Indian market as well.
Yeah, so we are aggressively talking to Indian banks, and we have there are of course some of the leading banks, top 3 banks, as well as some of the tier 2 banks who want to take digital leap. And since I've worked in India, we have Abhijit, Bipin, who are bankers for 20 years in India. Cracking something in India is definitely not going to be a challenge for us.
Okay. And my second question was, wanted to see what is the investment and then what's the ask?
Well, we can discuss that offline. We are primarily looking at more seed level investment, and it is not just about the investment. We are very keen to partner with somebody who has the passion for what we want to drive. I would like to believe that we are a set of people who are really passionate and who want to bring that difference. So it's just not the investment, but it's a lot of things where we look at it as building this family together and helping the SMEs across the world. Over a period of time, SMEs and startup will intermingle, but the people with passion and that type of profile. So happy to take it forward with on the offline conversation.
All right, thank you, Srikanth. Thank you, Srikanth.
Okay, great. There are no more questions, so we're going to move on to the next one. As I do that, let me quickly remind everyone about the survey questions. There are just 2 questions, so please don't forget, especially the panel members, don't forget to respond to them because this feedback is important. So our next startup actually is EventBeep. Rakhi is actually one of our youngest founders in our group, and a very interesting startup. What they're trying to do is gamify universities and student communities. Let's hear from Rakhi.
Hi, my name is Rakhi Pal, and I'm the co-founder at EventBeep. We're the fastest growing student community platform in India. Our vision is to create a space for students where they are highly inspired to pursue their interests. There are 2 core problems that we're trying to solve. First one, students don't really like attending college lectures. And the second one, whatever students are being taught today is 10-15 years outdated. Let's consider the case of Viren. Viren is a chemical engineering student who's unaware of his passions and interests, is busy attending college lectures, completing assignments, and is not really sure is chemical engineering the right field for him or not. Through his friends' recommendations, Viren joins the EventBeep app and starts interacting with students from all across the country. He starts interacting with students from National Institute of Photography and realizes that there are so many opportunities in photography that he can explore. He starts sharing his work in the community and ends up starting his own photography venture. We're trying to reach out to students like Viren and help them realize their potential. To reach out to such students, we initially get into their colleges and entirely gamify and digitize their whole college ecosystem. Let's talk about our first pilot college, COEP. We entered into this college and entirely digitized the student-faculty interaction, onboarding 4,200 students within a week onto the platform. Through these college partnerships, we create a student community network, forming an inter-college network onto the platform. Well, that's not all. We do not only interact with students and colleges, but we also onboard brands into the community, adding an immense level of value to these students. There are 4 avenues through which we pull in revenue into the company. First one is through college partnerships. We charge nearly $1.3 per student, depending on to the student strength in that particular college. Through EdTech integration, we have 50 to 70% margin behind every course sell for these EdTech brands. Third one is brand campaigns. We have a ticket size of $2,000 to $20,000 per brand campaign that we conduct. And fourth one is through events partnership. We charge nearly $130 per paid event listed onto the platform. We're nearly into $3.5 billion market size, and years we've reached so far. We have received orders from 75 plus colleges to implement the digital campus platform. There are 3,500 students working all across the country to promote the student community network, and there are more than 50,000 students using our student community platform. We have made a revenue of around $78,000 within just 4 months through EdTech integrations, and through events partnerships, we've made a GMV of around $170,000. Here's our top college partnerships so far that we've established. Some of our awards and achievements: we've been awarded by State Government of Maharashtra for our initiatives, and also have been awarded by some deans and directors of some top colleges. We've been also recognized by AICTE and have been featured on Tech Talks. Talking about our competitors, we have various competitors in each segment that we're into, right from students community, college gamification, events ticketing. But what makes us different is our one platform caters to all of these problems, and our core focus is students. We believe the way we understand students, nobody else can. Thank you so much, and I'll be looking forward to have further questions. Thank you.
Great. Mangesh, do you have a question? No. Okay. Any questions from the panel?
One obvious question, to the presenter is, how are you competing with these well-established players like Eventbrite? They have already these features available, and there are, of course, so many other platforms as well, which are very deep in what they create as value for students, or for that matter, anybody in the community. So I just want to understand what's your differentiation, because they are eventually going to be your competitor.
Understood. So the biggest difference here is Eventbrite is an event ticketing platform. We are more of a community platform, which is typically in the lines of a Facebook and LinkedIn, focused on college students. Just like how LinkedIn has LinkedIn events as an option to create event. Similarly, Eventbrite has an option to create event, but event is not the complete whole and sole focus of the community. It's a part of it. So that's like the biggest differentiator that we have.
So then why don't you partner with, if there is a gap that they have, it is a good opportunity for you to partner, isn't it? So please partner with them. I would like to, of course, go deep and research about this with you, because we do a lot of events, not only here, but globally. And quite a lot of them involve student communities. So it'll be very interesting for us to look at that. So we will take it one-on-one later.
Sure,
Thank you.
Thanks about that.
Thanks, Varad. Any other questions? Okay, I guess not. So let's move on to the last startup in our lineup. We'll have Kunal talk to us about how he's actually helping to bring the science lab, experimentation, bringing that online and accessible to anyone with a phone or a computer. So let's hear the story.
Hi, I'm Kunal, the co-founder and CEO at Deeply. We began in the year 2018 with the vision of creating intelligent automation systems. And here are a few of our very trusted clients. While we were finishing up a project at a university, me and my team thought, why not create an automated product for the Indian education system as well? So we went back to our schools and coaching classes, and here are a few major challenges that we found out. Out of 240,000 senior secondary schools surveyed, more than three-quarters of the schools didn't have properly equipped labs, and a lot of them didn't have labs at all. We talk about coaching classes. It charges around $250 per month for your typical 10th grade science subjects, and they don't have separate lab setups due to an additional cost of space and lab equipment. On top of everything else, due to lack of space, equipment, and lab attendance, certain schools do not have lab classes at all for their students. And the sad fact is, India has a low student to teacher ratio of 24:1 compared to Brazil and Canada. Lack of time spent with lab equipment leads to lower experimental learning, and hence the student's interest in the subject reduces. Well, here's my solution for it: an online lab experimentation platform, Vidura X. It's an all-time available platform with state-of-the-art lab infrastructure, very low cost at $2 per month, and an AI lab partner, which is a 3D avatar trained to assist the student step by step as they go through the experiment. Our initial offering is of 23 experiments of grade 10th. Phase 1 will see a launch of desktop-based application of the product, and Phase 2 will see a mobile-based application of the product. Well, let's see how it works. After logging in and going to the experiment, you have to first go through the procedure to set the foundation for the experiment, and go to the remote part of it, click on the buttons. You have automated actions on screen. Once the experiment is done, you have to go through the quiz for assessment. That's a feedback part of it, and that's it. That's where the process ends. We are looking at a serviceable obtainable market of $50 million, a serviceable addressable market of $400 million, and a total addressable market of $5 billion. In Phase 1, we are looking to have licensing agreement based on revenue sharing with schools and coaching classes, and Phase 2 will be seeing a direct student subscription. We are forecasting a revenue of $7.2 million at the end of 3 years with 300,000 subscriptions. A go-to-market strategy for Phase 1 would be partnering with school and coaching classes for a reach of large number of students, and Phase 2 will see a direct student onboarding. Talking about the competitors, they're not offering what we are. We have an AI lab partner for interactive learning and quality access to state-of-the-art lab infrastructure. Meet the team behind this rockstar product. Viraj here takes care of the technical part. Pushp is responsible for sales, and me, Kunal, I'm responsible for day-to-day operations and business development. At the end, we are deep leads, empowering students to perform well using science experiments. Thank you, and the forum is open for questions.
Yes, Shompal. Shom?
Yes.
Good.
Hi, Kunal. How are you? Great
I'm
presentation.
good.
Great
Thank you.
presentation. So, a couple of questions. So, it was not exactly clear if the solution that you're providing, are you generating your own content? Are you taking existing lab experiments and so forth, kind of digitizing it? And if you are digitizing it, is it kind of an AR, VR based kind of an experience? Is it more interactive video? Are you bite-sizing each one of these experiments? Could you talk a bit more about the solution, what you're providing?
Yeah, so what we are doing is we are taking the existing science experiments in the curriculum, and we are creating the own content. So basically, this is an ultra concurrent video wherein all inputs of particular experiments are already pre-recorded, and the actions are based on the click of a button that a student has. So yeah, we are making the content on our own right now.
Yeah, so there is no AR/VR aspect involved.
So
so it's more interactive video, is it?
Yeah. So AR/VR is something we are looking at as a future prospect, but for an initial offering, we are not having AR/VR. It's an interactive video. What you're looking at.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the panel? Okay, I guess not. So we are actually at the end of our lineup, and before we have a vote of thanks, we are actually joined by Padma Shri Pratap Rao Pawar. Everyone knows who he is, from Sakal Group. He's been actually listening, watching all the pitch presentations and listening, and we would like him to say a few words based on what he's seen and heard.
Yeah, good morning, good evening to everybody. It was really nice going through all the contents everybody has presented. It's my passion as well for technology, entrepreneurship, and association with institutes which help students. Directly, I'm involved with Bow Institute as the chairman and also Science and Technology Park as a vice president for the last 20 years or more. We have lots of mentors from COP and other institutes. Basically, I would like to say, which I said earlier also, that we have this print media, we have got TV media, but we also have one unique newspaper called AgroOne, which is meant only for the farmers, through which we give a lot of knowledge and success stories, etc. All these platforms are available to you free of cost. That is what I would like to contribute for the society from whatever we have. We also have one more new thing coming, and which I have an association, which I have not mentioned much. One is an organization called BIF, which is again works in 13 states for upliftment of below poverty line people, especially farmers. A very successful organization. Working for last more than 50, 60 years, but I've been trustee for last 15 years. There we have lots of knowledge access to policymakers, decision makers, institutions, including somebody like Bill Gates Foundation. Second thing is Baravati, my hometown, where we have this KVK, that means Krishi Vigyan Kendra, which is one of the best in the country and got international awards. They are starting one new innovations and almost having 2.5 lakh square feet area, which will be inaugurated on 2nd of November. Of course, I'm also trustee of that. So these are the sources available with me and connectivity, which I would like to make available to anybody, everybody. Those are entrepreneurs, those are ideas. Not that I will be relevant to everybody, but wherever you feel like you can contact me directly, no hesitation, 24/7, write to me, and then I'll see what can be done within my limits as a person, as an institution, and my contacts. All things are available to you because I have also passion for uplifting the society. I must modestly say that I'm associated with social work for the last 52 years. I mean, since 1968. I'm into it. Besides, I also have my own businesses. So this is where I'd be very happy to contribute personally, individually, and collectively. As I told you, don't go by name and the status. I'm available 24/7, and I always try honestly what I can do. I mean, of course, everybody has limitations, but having done that, my attitude is what can be done, then what cannot be done. So let's work together. Ultimately, your aim is to uplift society, create wealth, create knowledge. This is something which is need of the hour. So again, that's the reason why I happily joined Garje Marathi. Because your guys are doing something which is constantly very positive, giving international outlet exposure. What is one would need? And obviously, someone like me would like to be part of you. So my best wishes, the people who are concerned with onion or marketing, agriculture, I can give AgroOne as a platform so you can reach 1 million farmers easily. I can, if you have some success stories, I will print it. If you want to give interview on Sam TV, I'll arrange it. And if you have something to be printed in Sakar, that I'll do. I'll be able to do it. Again, I tell you, this is our duty. I'm not obliging anybody. It's the same passion at heart which Gaze Marathi has, and I'm a happy partner of that. That's all I can say. So, best wishes to all of you. Congratulations, and continue your activities, continue your efforts. I would say to my colleagues, I would say to your entrepreneurs, to everybody for that matter. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Pradharrao. Very inspiring, encouraging for all of us at Garze Marathi and beyond, the whole founder entrepreneur community as well. Thanks a lot. So we are actually at the close of today's event. We will have a vote of thanks proposed by Vijay Talele, who is the CEO of Bhau Institute at COEP in Pune. Do we have him on the panel, Shirish, already? Can we get him on?
Yes, I am on the Alankar. I am there on the call.
Yes, Vijay, we can see you. You can start.
Yeah. Please carry on, Vijay.
Sure. Thank you. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. It gives me an immense pleasure, a great honor and privilege to deliver this vote of thanks for this first accelerator cohort of 16 weeks duration of Garze Marathi Global Innovation Academy. First of all, let me thank all the judges, investors, and panelists today who graced today's demo day of this cohort, despite their busy schedules and odd times, and have given their valuable inputs to our startups. We are confident that our startups have generated enough interest in them to explore further these startups for the investment opportunities. I want to express my sincere thanks to all mentors who assigned to each startup. These mentors not only attended all the sessions every weekend, but extended their full support to each startup during the week and their weekly assignments, and also for giving their valuable inputs. Their mentoring has played a very important role in this cohort. The weekly sessions were well planned, well managed by Alankar and the core team of Garze Marathi, and well guided by Sudhir Kadam throughout these 16 weeks. I also express my sincere thanks to all the session speakers who gave detailed insights on each topic, which created a lot of interest for the startup teams and mentors. The cohort would not have been a successful cohort if at all identified 10 startups would not have worked hard every week for their assignments while they continue to focus on their startup activities. Congratulations to all these startups for successful completion of this cohort and the program. We are sure that the insights and valuable inputs that you have received from the session speakers, the reading material, the mentor sessions, and today's demo day will help you a lot during your startup journey further. While conducting today's demo day and this cohort, we look forward to all our cohort startups a great successful journey and achieve the greater heights in their journey. Garze Marathi Global members and mentors will always be available to you in future also. Last but not least, this cohort would not have been possible without the great program coordination, managing the Google Classroom by Alankar, Devdatta, and Shirish. This vote of thanks will not be complete if I don't thank Garze Marathi Global under the leadership of Anand Ganu for conceptualizing an innovation academy as a platform for the budding entrepreneurs across the globe and support them during their journey of entrepreneurship. Thank you all.
Namaste, everybody. There is one unsung hero, I should say. This entire credit of the success of this program and everything goes to Sri Sudhir Kadam, who wants to remain behind the scene all the time. Thanks a lot, Sudhir. Alankar, can we end the program?
Yes, we'll actually give 10 minutes back to everyone. So we can end on that note. Thank you, everyone.